First things first on this, the last day of 2020. Woo! Jenna Wolf, Nick Wright, Brandon Marshall, Kevin Wildes. It has been a very interesting year, to say the least. I'm thrilled to have spent it with the three of you and to everyone at home.
That's nice, Jenna.
And with that, we are going to kick off our last show of the year in a big way. We got a big weekend of football to discuss. We'll start this morning in the NFL with some playoff questions heading into Week 17. Were you looking for something more profound? Not in Week 17. They got to dot the I's and cross the T's. We know the Steelers will sit Big Ben on Sunday. Now we're hearing the Chiefs have the same plan for Patrick Mahomes. They're going to rest him for their season finale against the Chargers. But Jenna, why not rest him? Chiefs have everything clinched. Glad you asked. There's still a few unchecked items, which is where our guy Nick comes in. Nick, is it a good idea or a bad idea for the Kansas City Chiefs to sit your guy Patrick Mahomes with the playoff bye already locked up?
It's probably the right decision, but I'm not sure I like it. And that is for selfish and selfless reasons. Selfish reasons is, listen, if you watch this show a lot, you've learned a few things about a lot of us. But one of the things you've learned about me is I may or may not have a slightly crippling gambling problem. And I've got bets on Mahomes to win MVP. That could go out the window. I have 7-1 on Travis Kelce to lead the league in receiving yards. Wave goodbye to that. And a bet, I've already spent the money. I've spent the money on Patrick Mahomes leading the league in passing yards. That was locked up. But if he doesn't play, all of a sudden Deshaun Watson could take it from him. So for my personal perspective, I don't love it. But bigger than that, here's my actual concern. It's not that the Chiefs haven't been playing well as of late, because I think that is way overblown. They played the Dolphins, who have a top-5 defense. They scored 33 points. They then played the Saints, who have a top-5 defense. They scored 32 points. They then played the Falcons in a totally meaningless game, and the Chiefs' defense was outstanding while the offense wasn't great. I'm not worried about how the Chiefs have been playing. I am worried about too much rust. And I am worried about a team that has lost one game in the last 14 months, all of a sudden going a month between meaningful games and going 2+ weeks between actually playing with giving yourselves a bye and then having earned the bye. So it's not about, oh, the Chiefs need to get into gear, because I think that storyline is wildly overrated. It's about, if the last time you really locked in was the Saints game in Week 15, and then Week 16 you had everything clinched, Week 17 you rest everyone, wild card weekend you have a bye, and now all of a sudden, Brandon, you're playing either the Ravens or the Browns or the Titans or whomever you're going to be playing in round 2, a team that would be coming off a playoff victory. That does concern me a bit. I understand trying to avoid the injury, but I think the rust thing, Brandon, could be a real factor here.
Yeah, Nick, look, there's a few things here that we need to talk about. I think it's a good idea, first and foremost. And the reason why, these guys have been running high since the Super Bowl. You got to think about what you just said, Jenna. 2020 been an interesting year. No, it's been a tough year for probably 99% of the people in the world. So when you think about this, the physical and the mental toll that's been on a lot of us throughout this year, and then all these athletes as well, going into a billion-dollar business. They're multi-million-dollar athletes, and every day they're being criticized and critiqued and judged. They don't walk into these facilities and these coaches are saying, hey, guys, great job. No, 90% of the time they're like, hey, wide receiver, you're a yard off. You're an inch off the mark. You got to be better. Patrick Mahomes, you see that right foot? If you do this a little differently, the ball will come out a little better. So it's a high-pressured environment. So I would say for the Kansas City Chiefs, this is the perfect thing for them. Now you're giving Patrick Mahomes, the most deadliest quarterback, the most deadliest player in the NFL, a time to just relax and take a deep breath. I think this is a really good thing for them. And, Nick, I feel so bad for you. Man, you put all that money on the line to the MVP.
Man, I don't want to talk about
Travis Kelce. That's brutal.
They were all good bets.
But buddy, hopefully you parlayed the bet I hope you parlayed the bet about them going back-to-back because they have the best opportunity to do the ultimate thing, and that's win a back-to-back Super Bowl. So the MVP, it may be out there, but Kevin.
That's a good point.
Correct. So I think this is a good thing. And Kevin, look, Patrick Mahomes may still win the MVP because Aaron Rodgers is going into Chicago, and it's not going to be an easy job for him. I'll tell you that, buddy.
I'm still giving Patrick Mahomes my MVP vote. Now, you might say, Wilds, you don't have an MVP vote. All right, details. Look, Nick, this is why I don't think you should be worried. Patrick Mahomes knows his body better than everybody else. He knows the strategy of how to move through the playoffs. The only thing he doesn't know is, like, there's no such thing as the Patrick Price. Everybody gets the same State Farm deal no matter who you are. And at some point, Jake, if Patrick Mahomes doesn't get it and Aaron Rodgers doesn't get it, maybe it's on you. Maybe it's your messaging. But here's the thing Patrick Mahomes does know. He hasn't been playing great, Nick. So the first 12 weeks of the season, killing it. You're up here puffing your chest out, being awesome. These last weeks, I mean, you can say that, like, it's overblown, but we know that he's a safety away from that Saints game, or his touchdown that turned into a safety, of being much closer. The A.J. Terrell